The art of peeping subconscious subtleties. I'm not trying to re-traumatize and go back to the slave energy, but this is the LAPD. They got these little hats on and riding horses in Venice, and just showing like that aspect. I got my little crystal grid out there though. Just showing that aspect of how you know subtle subconscious programming again. And that's the whole thing. Reason for me doing this video is showing how, not say teaching, but in essence, how to peep subconscious subtleties. Because they riding around trying to look like an overseer from the slave days and create a certain subconscious programming or activate a certain subconscious traumatic programming that's in certain people, you know. Like certain people see the horses in that hat and that whole vibe. And again, it's a fact scientifically that trauma could be passed through DNA, you know. So if certain people got that knowledge, and these people got that knowledge is Freemasons who board members on police departments and bank, all that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, they using that science and they know this type of stuff. So again, like just that subtlety. And I'm not from LA. I don't know how long they've been riding them horses like that. Seemed like something new, but you never know. But that whole vibe, and that's why on Bourbon Street in Louisiana, like it never changed. Like it just went from slavery straight to just them doing it on the streets, you know. And then have this vibe. Of course, all walks of life should be respected, but like where people could go to jail forever for like touching them horses if it's considered assault or something like that, you know. But just that whole aspect again, don't overly, ain't nothing about trying to focus on that traumatizing energy, because again, the whole aspect of like always trying to show us again that slave vibe, that's the whole aspect of what they're doing with that. So perfect example, you know. And I'm using it as a teaching lesson, and not a aspect of like, you see how they used to treat us and and this and that, look, again, it's a balance of learning where we come from to know where we're going, and learning from the past in order to build a beautiful now, you know what I'm saying, through learning from past situations that didn't serve us, certain little things that we fell for in the past. It's like playing peekaboo as a little baby, with somebody, and you remember, if you remember or not, but like being a little baby, and kind of having that little aspect of realizing like the person was gonna cover their eyes at a certain little point. And matter of fact, that's a bad example, I think. That's not a good example, but like where you realize, like say for instance, somebody as a little kid, one of your relatives or somebody like to scare you every time you walk down a certain hallway in the house, and then after the first few times, it's like, shit, I ain't even gonna walk down that hall because so-and-so always try to scare me when I go down that hall. But you have to remember those past situations in order to not be fooled by it again, and remembering that situation doesn't mean holding on to that situation or some traumatized, let me hold on to, like, matter of fact, like the Jewish vibe, or like the Holocaust, in which melanated people sometimes fall in that vibe too, or like, slavery, and it's a vibe of, learning from it, grow from it, yeah, you peep game, study what went on in the past to know what's going on right now. But again, this is just just an example to peep subtle subconscious vibes, That's all, and this, the whole spiritual vibes, again, or should I say, what some may call spiritual warfare, again, is the subconscious realms, and it's little subtle things like that are done, And two, I'm showing it because, say for instance, it could be seen as like, oh, we're not doing anything, or we ain't, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, if you know how the subconscious mind work, and the people who work for you, so say, go to school, go to these fucking Harvards and these Yales and know so much, then they should know a lot about the subconscious mind and how that work. And if they know all that, then why are they doing these little subtle subconscious ass bullshit? Like my video I made about that billboard in Hollywood about civil rights is no, AIDS is a civil rights problem. It had Martin Luther King on it. You know, like that was a slap in the face. Oh, you know, just all kind of vibes with that. But you know, again, heart lighter than a feather. You know, we ain't gonna let our heart be all grudge. You know, we ain't gonna be holding grudges and know the past to know what you got. Know what you're doing right now. And for the most part, with what you're doing right now, let it be in alignment with, again, your inner guidance and your soul purpose. What you feel is, quote unquote, right, for lack of a better word. You know, what you feel is right. You know, and not necessarily having to be no vigilante going out doing that. You know, like do whatever feels. You know, whatever your heart and soul lines up with. You know, your heart and soul. You know. A lot of us geared towards, again, making sure we in alignment, and then that kind of spreads out to doing things that help others to be in alignment, without us even, again, trying to be extra, just a part of us being in alignment, it's, the inner guidance, the inner alignment before the actions. Peace, peace. Happy now. Now the vibrate, of course. Not too far in the future. Not too far in the past.